to, who we are, what we do, what our recommendations this year. All right, well, thank you very much.
Perna, did you have any more information on it? Like in the past, our requests were typically one time.
Yeah, for the SRW director, they do us every 2 years. So they fund us for 2 years, and then we have to fund 2 years. That's how we cover the salary that we got to know last year. And this year it's a permanent pay rate for it. So it's a good step in the right direction. Hopefully it gets through.
So we recognize that the funding that we receive for graduate student body is maybe not what we had requested, but it being a permanent funding source is maybe a step in the right direction for what we're hoping for. The reason this proposal happened is that Student Activity Fair Fee Advisory Board must present to undergraduate student body and graduate student body each year their proposals that they make because we pay these fees. Recognizing that not all the fee money goes to us, like universities charge students fees all the time for things. We just have some say in how those fees are distributed. Later in our meeting, we do need to vote on these proposals that he presented. So we'll discuss a resolution where we'll generally go through the topics relatively quick and state if we oppose any of the issues that they've brought forward. So for the most part, I imagine we would be supporting what they proposed, but we'll talk about that later in our meeting to give an idea about why we just had that presentation. All right, moving on, administrative comments. None. Advisor comments. President?
I got 2 things for you guys, and it's going to be a little bit of a discussion more than me giving you information. The first one is the undergrad student senate approved they want to change the student rule 7 to accommodate interview absentee. So basically, if they want to excuse absence to go to interviews, clearly that can be easier to use by students, and ESTAs kind of have to deal with that. So luckily, faculty senate was not too happy about it, and they tabled the discussion. And my question is this a problem that you guys are facing as TAs, and should we write a resolution? That's sort of what I wanted to bring to the floor and say, here's some of your thoughts on it.
I think Sally, English department. I think that it should be up to the TA or instructor. I mean, my students come to me on a case-by-case basis, and I usually don't have a problem with it, but they have to come to me. They can't just, tell me I was here because I was in an interview, like I need proof and conversation.
Right. And that's the question. Like, as long as the student tells you if interviews are not done literally the day of, they're done the week earlier.
They know about it.
Right.
They're prepared.
And sometimes students do use it and say, oh, it happened the day of or something. And that's sort of the question. Don't bother with the idea. We already have an honor code. Why do we even need this for at all? So I'd say, faculty senate's not happy about this, and lucky for us, but there's a conversation from other administrators that's like, we want to just go ahead and overrule that. So I just wanted to get your take on it. Publish a resolution saying, no, we don't want that.
I guess my question is probably if they were to put something like that into effect, what would it be a blanket statement where basically once they say, I mean, because obviously like if you have a medical issue, that's fine, but you have to show evidence on it. Would it be a similar policy where if they had an interview, that's fine, but they just have to show evidence of it? Or is it, because I think what the place where I can understand the undergraduate perspective is if even if they provide evidence that they're going to this interview, etc., if their TA potentially says, nope, I don't care, you've shown me evidence, I'm still not going to allow it, they would presumably under current rules, they would have to be like, well, it wasn't allowed, that's perfectly okay. Where on the other hand, if they have a medical issue, they get a doctor's note
think the topic is also confidence center, but I think as grad students, we want to go to a job interview, and the network effects is going to really help us. And if we have a conference, that always takes priority over anything going on in the conference. So I'd assume that they would want, like, show prior notice that it's happening. And we can write a resolution saying, okay, we can support this, but only with these caveats.
And that's personally what I would think, because I do think that undergraduates should be able to do that. I really do. But I totally also see them abusing it, and so I see the basically like a doctor, they need to have some evidence that yes, they could actually go to an interview, and maybe if there's a number that they can call, like, did this person actually interview? And exactly the same way as it operates with a doctor.
So have like a sign statement if you interview.
Exactly, saying like basically as evidence that yes, I did go to this interview. Here's your number. Thank you. If my TA wants to call, they can call you and say yes. So that's what I think.
Any other comments? Okay, and the next bit of business is I was talking to Dr. Butler Curry, head of OGAPS, about commencement and how that each of the ceremonies goes on for 4 or 5 hours long. And then she wanted to know what our opinion is on having a graduate-specific commencement so that the duration of each commencement is going to be shorter. Is that something we want? Because we do very specific putting ceremonies and all that. We don't have things like finals getting in the way, especially in 5th year, or your final year of your PhD. Just like your thoughts on that as well.
Stephanie Matthews from Meeting and Replay. I would agree with that because coming from a different institution, I did do my undergraduate, graduate students have their own commencement ceremony. But my master's, and I'm not sitting in the middle of my I would prefer not to do that.
Yeah, no, one of the issues was when they did separate it in the past, like faculty would all go to the graduate the internet. So how do we mitigate that? We would do earlier. I'm not sure what the ideas are, but I mean, is that the general consensus that we like our own? I see a couple right now. All right, excellent. Well, I just needed those opinions. I'll relay that information.
So we can look at creating a resolution for Student Rule 7 because that's in different places, like Faculty Senate, or rules tabled the issue and Faculty Senate's very opposed to it. So we would need to figure out what's our opinion on that topic. For my report, Faculty Senate voted this morning and they unanimously approved our first resolution, the preferred name and pronoun policy. So that's starting to move through the process. Now it doesn't have a formal process like we needed their approval, but their approval certainly helps us, especially now that it's at Student Government Association with undergrads. VPF, no report. VPI.
Yeah, if y'all have any announcements that you want to make during GA, you can make them during GA without sending them to us, but it's better if you send them to us so we can send the documents beforehand. Also, with swiping in, if the GA has started, don't bother swiping in. Swipe in before right when we start committee meetings or after GA.
So last meeting, we talked about those sitting in external committees have an external committee report. One thing that I went ahead and done, I made like an overall template in the folder. So to make it a little bit easier, instead of you writing like a full paragraph, we put the meeting down. I said, so it's very self-explanatory. You just put your committee name where it says committee name. You put your name, and also your name, the date of meeting, time of meeting, and then you'll list the key points. So every meeting has an agenda of some sort. Just put down the key points that were discussed there. Then the action items that you may have as a person, as a representative. Sometimes in meetings they'll request that you, So sometimes they'll assign you a task of some sort, and so we like for you to put that there and be specific with it. And then also just list the next meeting. I feel like that would be a lot easier than trying to, write a full paragraph summary of what we need. So here we can just get the key points and put it. That's all I have.
Right, committee reports.
So
Income?
Okay, so the only thing I have is the 3-minute thesis competition coming up. So, if you're not following us on Facebook, we do have a Facebook page, it's just Graduate Professional Student Council, Texas A&M. And so I did create an event card, for just a reminder that OGAPS is, giving the organization that has the most representation. So you guys can win, money for your organization as well as they'll be giving away 2 Apple TVs, to 2 people in attendance. So something on Mother's Day, I love Apple TVs. So, yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, if I could just make a comment on that, especially for departments, like, one of the finalists is in your department, I really encourage you guys to go. I'll try and give you a list of which departments are, which students have been in the finals. It's also free food. So it's an incentive.
Words?
So park cleanup was my event, that's why I'm doing it instead of Anjali. So it went pretty well for the few of us that cared about the environment. Actually, we were able to get a lot of trash. And the city parks and rec people were pretty happy about it. And they're willing to work with us in the future for more events like this. So, I think once the weather is a little bit more stable, we'll try to plan something like this again. So that's the park cleanup. The Aggies Commit Fellowship, the GPSC version, because there's like five different Aggies Commit Fellowships or awards. So just a note, please remind people in your department that this fellowship is back up for the year. Please use it, apply to it. I haven't been getting any applications since it went down for a bit. It's back up. Please remind everyone, please apply. Anyways, the round 1 winners, there's the one from Wildlife and Fisheries or the EE program, and there's one from the Veterinary Integrated Biosciences. And then the winner travel awards, I'll write a formal announcement for that tomorrow. But there's one from chemistry and one from education and administration. And then lastly, there's an OGAPS Aggies Commit mini grant due November 14th. It's for like an organization to apply to if you are holding any sort of high impact activity or experience. But it's due pretty soon, so get working on it.
Diversity inclusion?
All right, so I'll give the report for diversity and inclusion. ICRA is at a conference right now. But for the meet and greet, she has said that we had a really good turnout, I think around 20 people. It was on October 18th in the Wright Gallery in College of Architecture. She said it was a really good time for attendees to meet each other and discuss different issues they have pertaining to different campus-related things. She said both faculty, staff, and students were able to attend. And she really enjoyed having everyone there. She was forward to what's the plan got when it's going to be, but never get the next one up.
Right. International Student Affairs? Right. External?
So it's not too late to sign up to take working groups if you're really passionate about a legislative topic that you want to do research on. It's a really great experience and potentially write a paper that will be presented to legislators next semester. Joe Flores is your representative of the district that Texas A&M is in. He is coming to campus tomorrow to give a talk on area energy policy. And from what I can see,
internal?
Okay, so first thing is, we are essentially my committee, the internal, social affairs and quality of life, we're actually tasked with constructing quality of life survey report. We've started a spreadsheet, so that's something that my committee will be working on, but if you have anything pressing that you would like some more information on or some more data on, so that we as a GA can create a resolution, if you will just email me those, and we can break them into our topics, make sure that we're not done with one question. So there's that, we're hoping that it will go out late November, usually the first week of December, so that we come back from, fall break and Christmas and everything, we'll have that data to start working on issues. The graduate teaching assistantship, salaries and responsibilities. So basically, the idea has been tossed around that if, for instance, if I was teaching an undergraduate introduction to agriculture course with something called guide, and James is teaching like an upper level course, that he would maybe have a higher salary than I would, even though our responsibilities now is the same. So there is a professor within the Coles department, Dr. Reed, who is fighting for equal pay, for equal work. So as long as our research hours and our amount of courses that we teach are the same, our pay being equal. So we really need feedback from you guys. If you're experiencing this unequal pay, for the same amount of work, just shoot me an email, me or Zane, you can give us that information, and we need to do some on that for what we're working with.
I guess we need, is anyone experiencing anything like that right now? Like you and another graduate assistant do the same work, but you don't get paid the same for any reason? Okay, so shoot us a note. Like sometimes it's tied to a grant where they're allowed to be paid more, but we don't know where that's coming from. And so, and the scarier part would be like, they're talking like 60% of an assistantship is what they would pay the person doing an intro course, which we would not be paid for 40%.
Not even, less than half.
Yeah, so if you're experiencing that, you shoot me an email or talk to me after so we can kind of dig into a lot of that. Like that might be really tied to a grant or something where they're allowed more funding or they're allowed more funding. The next thing is the consensual relationship with undergrads. I know we had a lot of questions regarding that. So there's a link right here to click on it that kind of outlines everything, but the basic highlights here are if you are in a relationship, consensual relationship with an undergraduate, it has to be pre-existing prior to one of you being an employee of the university, or both of you being an employee of the university, and you have to petition for an extension for that. So you have to go through college, the provost, and it would also be with your employee record. And then another thing is, well, I think that's it.
There can't be a power
Differential.
differential.
Yeah.
So if you're the teacher or you work in the department and you have access to anything for that major, they probably wouldn't approve
You
it.
can't work in the same college, so you could, that, it can't even be employed in the same college.
Essentially, it applies to anyone who gets a paycheck from me and as a grad student. If your fellowship, that's different, your own thing, as long as it's not cost cutting. So, we have Dean Weaver coming in, right? So we're gonna address all of these issues, so if you have questions.
So they've released a little more guidance on that. I know we freaked out last time. And then SRW.
And right now, we're going to clear the application, and which will be done on Friday, and cover.
Yeah, we'll just keep you updated on any major changes we make. We have a few things in mind, and we'll obviously run by you guys just to see if you guys are okay with that.
Okay, now we'll do committee breakouts. So let's aim for 15, 20 minutes. So try to be done by like 6:20 with those, and then back in here.
Hello, excuse me. This is the GPSC, right? I'm here for the philosophy department.
Okay.
It's my first time here. What should I do?
So Ben here is the one who takes care of all of our signing in. He'll get your checked in so that your attendance counts. And then we'll also need you to visit Chandler here. This laptop open.
Okay.
He assigns all the committees, which we're doing. So don't worry about committees today because by the time you're done, we'll get started in the channel.
Thank you.
Basically, how much time we have
Today, yeah,
Because technically,
looking at it, I didn't have it on there.
yeah,
But yeah, good idea. Because I went to like a church 20 minutes out of College Station. There was no line. It was like 2 hours long. Yeah, so I think there's still. You're right. There's still place to.
So yeah, the thing is just once you
It was in like.
As long as you're online.
Yeah, and it just like come out and it's like.
I'll bring that up. Thank you.
No. Right. Like I feel.
Yeah. Oh, where are you guys at? Matching.
Yeah, me too. Right. Yeah, I definitely.
She said that's when she had a
So, for committee, it is your, you said it's your first time. So if you want to speak with Chandler, he can get you set up with, the committee, and then why don't we break out the GA meetings, and that's where you'll go.
I would shake your hand.
So that presentation you gave, some of the proposals are not funded. Like they're not recommending. So I don't see.
I mean, even if they didn't recommend it, they're
That's a good way of putting it, because that's just their recommendation. We could be still recommending funding that.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna leave our resume. I'm just gonna go through all this. I have no idea what. It's like I know.
even though they're not, they had a couple of 4 or 5 stuff I'm not recommending.
Like the program coordinator for the case is not on your list for funding.
But we want that. Anything different.
I think if we want to then have it on our resolution.
We have no idea which things they said no and yes to because when you took the drive out, closed the public. So I can't even go through it.
I have it on my email. Do you want it?
Yeah, that might be, I guess the first, should we remove those or should we leave it as is because those are just like, would we be blanket for supporting all of the candidates, even if we know that there's a funding, or is it better to go through and remove stuff? Like, are we gonna look dumb if we have stuff?
Right. Just be remote advanced issue.
We could always-
we don't support it again. I think if they're not, it's
That's kind of where I was going. I just don't, in his email, I don't, did he give us the popcorn? I kind of feel like he gave it to us.
He asked if, yeah, he did.
Because we're sure.
He gave it to me 1 hour ago.
Can you look at that then and I'll just.
I'm sending it to you.
I don't like
There you go. So you know how to use it.
You're still sending it?
Yeah.
Oh, or uploading it later. So okay, so that's your recommendation that any of these ones we would just put.
Yeah. Jessica, her advisor said she has to take the class this semester. But what are we, like, I understand it's marketing, communications, and I agree with that. But Jessica's being very. So I think I'm okay with it, especially if she's the first year. I'm not gonna stay on for the next couple of years, so if you say no now, it might affect you.
Chandler, I can tell you, I'm not sure.
Like a half-hour meeting.
Maybe also something like an outline, like what she wants her committee to work on, so that way all of some days, there we go.
So I think
So I told her like, I'm gonna talk to you.
but I think something tangible too first thing is our request, like this time, she's not rescued. Because being her
Well, I think.
and you can't let that.
Oh, great, yeah, that's how many. Oh, I see. Maybe I just want those to be involved in this to reach the applications. That's just big work. Yeah, we talked about those a week ago. A week is a lot of time to check.
Do they need more time on? Sorry, he understood.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
I got her.
All right, sounds like we're wrapping up. Let's head back to our seats. I can do this in 13 minutes. I don't think so, but I'm gonna try.
I know how to read.
I have faith. I have faith in you.
All right, we're heading back to our chairs. There is no unfinished business, so we will skip that. New business, GPSC Resolution 5202. The Graduate and Professional Student Body stance on Texas A&M University Student Affairs Fee Advisory Board request for funding, which is the proposal we heard earlier. So on the screen, and we should have got a link sent out to our email. We have copies of each of the resolutions. Okay, we have copies of each of the statements and proposals that we heard about from earlier. What we need to do is decide if we take a stance on it. So the language has been written, but we would need to amend it. We're not going to go through formal motions on it. We'll just have discussion and then we'll do a voice vote for a supporting stance, an oppositional stance, or a neutral stance on the topic. In general, if we're going to take an opposition stance on something, we would need to feel really strong about it. For the most part, it's really hard for us to oppose someone else's request when we're also asking for funding ourselves too. So before we move into the addition, like specific items, did anyone have concerns or debate on this topic based on the presentation we heard earlier? So the motion's on the floor. It's been seconded by executive committee. Is there any debate on the proposals we heard earlier? Anything we were strongly opposed to or strongly in favor of? The Equality of Life Committee has already put in a supporting statement for the Becky Gates request and a supporting statement for the Graduate and Professional Student Council funding. So those two are already supportive of it, and we would choose to vote it. Any other discussion? All right, so we'll start moving through the resolutions. In general, if we are going to take a stance, we need a whereas statement. So whereas Graduate and Professional Student Council last year had a resolution to increase funding for the Becky Gates Center, we're recommending that we support the request for this year. Everyone okay with that? All those in favor of supporting, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All those neutral? Okay. Department of Information Technology requests for software applications and graduate assistantship positions. Any feelings on this topic? All right, all those supporting it, say aye. All those, okay. What I'm gonna do is just try to take the loudest one and then we'll put that over your statement. All those supporting it, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All those neutral? Okay, I think that's supportive, so we'll go with that. Disability service requests for a staff position, some new computers, and this career promotion piece that they seem to be really excited about. All those supporting it, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And all those neutral? Okay. Graduate and Professional Student Council, all those in favor say aye. Motion passes. Memorial Student Center request for some program excellence funding and partial funding for security cameras. Thoughts? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And any neutral stances? Okay. And it's okay for us to take a stance. For us to be neutral on this, what is our rationale? We would need some language here, and I'll add it later, but what's the reason that we're neutral on this?
Can you scroll back now?
Yeah, my bad. So the MSC for security cameras and partial funding. Okay, we probably don't need strong language for neutral, so we might just move on, but if we're gonna post something, I'd like rational. Multicultural services, department operations. Thoughts? Okay, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All those neutral? Music activities, reclassing a full-time position, funds for staff facility hours, and then increasing some other positions, but the travel funding is no longer in there. Thoughts? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And all those neutral? So Dean of Student Life for a couple positions, graduate positions, salary, staff, and then data and benefits. Thoughts? Discussion? Other discussion? All right, all those in favor of Dean of Student Life request, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And all those neutral? Okay, Office of the Vice President for Student Affairs, Business Coordinator, staff position, and then some equipment. Thoughts?
What is the equipment?
The proposals are on the website if we, so that was VPSA. So it looks like some like sexual assault type equipment to campaigns to not to encourage it. Sorry. It looks like some equipment to promote well-being and awareness for topics like sexual assault, suicide prevention, and stress. Thoughts? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Neutral? All right, student activities requests. A staff position for risk management, looks like 2 of them. And then one of them is tied to IFC, so Greek relations. Thoughts? All those in favor? All those opposed? Neutral? Student counseling services, looks like an intern psychologist. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Neutral? Almost done. 2 more. Art gallery, student internships, and a 30th anniversary celebration. Thoughts? Debate?
Do you know the amount of that?
Which one?
30 anniversary program.
15?
And then are the internships one time or are they recurring? You know?
I think most of them were reoccurring this year, but so $17,000 for 2 internships. Thoughts? Debate? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? I have no idea there. Okay, all those in favor, hands up. Okay, all of those neutral, hands up. It's like legit. I didn't actually like count. Okay, keep hands up and I'll count closer. 1, 2. Okay, and then all those in favor, the first one that we did. I didn't count close enough. Neutral stance it is. It was like 24-17. And then Veteran Resource Support Center. So some equipment and then the Aggie Veteran Network grad assistantship position. Thoughts? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Neutral? All right, so now we'll move on to the voting on the overall bill. This is only the official delegate. Any further debate on the bill, on the resolution? Discussion? All right, all those in favor of resolution 5202, our stance on student advisory fee board requests, please raise your placard if you are in favor. Okay, and then placards down. All those opposed? Any abstentions? All right, 44, motion, or the resolution passes. Okay, new business, or done with that. Amendments, go vote. There's still technically like an hour left, and we're pretty sure that if you're in line, you can still vote even if it's past the time. So do it. The MSC is probably the busiest place, but there's places further away from campus that have no line at all. General election assembly meeting next week is canceled. So the next time that we have our meeting, we will not be meeting because it's the fall Thanksgiving break. The elector conference is November 18th. Green Dot training is November 8th. That's the last of those. And then if you're interested in getting an opportunity to present research, the horticulture department is hosting a poster symposium, and there's a link there with more information. Shoot us a note if you need any help on that. Any other further business which should come before this assembly?
On the elector conference, you need to sign up for it, and I think the applications are due Friday. That's the last day for it. You'll go back by November 4th.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Actually, did you hear any closer?
Okay, second. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, meeting adjourned at 6:29, 59 minutes.